We get asked a lot about the interest on Zomia loans. And yes, there is interest on the loan. It is 5% and it is flat. And flat means that the interest will always be 5% of what you borrowed. This is different than if you were to pay 5% of what you had left to pay. This can be a very unfamiliar concept, but it's also very simple when you see it in practice. So, what we're going to do is look at an example after this. The interest does not accumulate while you are studying. So, as long as you're studying and in school, there is no interest on your loan. And if you want to think about it another way, then you can also say that interest begins after you finish your last class, so after you graduate. Once you are in repayment, the interest does not stop. So if you were to take a deferment, for example, so a break from repaying your loan, then the interest would continue during this time. And lastly, there is a maximum amount to the interest that is charged on your loan. We call that a cap, and that cap is 12 years. So after 12 years of repayment, there is no more interest charged to the loan. Okay, let's look at an example of what flat interest looks like. To keep the math simple, we're just going to say that this student borrowed $1,000. And the way I have this set up here is that each row represents 1 year. And this column means year in repayment. This is the student's loan status. And this is the interest that is applied to the loan. So as long as the student is in school, the repayments have not started. And so here you can see the student is in school. There is no repayment year that has begun, and there is no interest. And the same thing in year 2. So this is in the second year, the student is still in school. Repayment has not started, and the interest is 0. Beginning in the third year, however, the student finishes school, and the status of the loan changes from being in school to being in repayment. And now the student is in the first year of repayment. And so the interest is 5% of $1,000, which is $50. So if we continue into year 2, another $50 is added to the loan. And then into year 3, even though the student takes a deferment, there's still $50 added to the loan. And the same for year 4. So as you can see, this would continue years 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way until year 12, where the $50 is no longer added to the loan. Okay, let's review. So there's no interest while you are in school. As long as you're studying, there is no interest. However, once you enter repayment, there is flat interest of 5% charged each year, even if you take a deferment. And after 12 years, the interest stops accumulating.